Hi, this is GCSE 9 to 1 Crammers. It's never too late to start revising, and this way you can do it anywhere. Listen to these questions as many times as you need until the answers pop into your head. Today we're revising biology topic 2A, the circulatory system, covering the blood vessels, the heart, and the blood. What are the three different types of blood vessels? Arteries, veins, and capillaries. The way to remember them is arteries are the way at, or way out of the heart, while the veins are the way in, or way into the heart. And arteries and veins branch into capillaries that are connected to the tissues and organs. So, arteries take the blood out of the heart, veins take the blood into the heart, and capillaries take the blood into and out of tissues and organs via the arteries and veins. Which type of blood vessel carries blood away from the heart? Arteries. Remember, arteries are the way at. Arteries take oxygenated blood out of the heart and around the body, and deoxygenated blood out of the heart to the lungs. What are all arteries known as? Coronary arteries. How are coronary arteries adapted to this function? They have thick muscular walls, which are strong and elastic, to stand the pressure of the blood being pumped away from the heart. What is the tube down the middle of an artery that carries the blood called? It's the lumen. Which type of blood vessel carries blood back to the heart? Veins. Remember, veins are the way in. Veins take deoxygenated blood from the body into the heart, oxygenated blood from the lungs into the heart. What do veins have that arteries and capillaries don't have? Veins have thinner walls than arteries because the blood is at a lower pressure, a larger lumen to help the blood flow, and valves to keep the blood flowing in the right direction and prevent backflow. What are valves in the vein for? To keep the blood flowing in the right direction and to prevent backflow. What type of blood vessel is involved in exchange of materials at the tissues? Capillaries. What is the function of capillaries? Capillaries carry blood close to every cell in the body for the exchange of oxygen and food to the cells, and they take away waste products, for example carbon dioxide. How are these exchanges done between capillaries and cells? By diffusion. What is the process of diffusion? It is the process by which substances move from an area of high concentration to an area of lower concentration. Explain the structure of capillaries. Capillaries are very narrow, thin blood vessels, only one cell thick, and have permeable walls. What is the advantage of capillaries only being one cell thick? This increases the rate of diffusion by decreasing the distance over which it happens. And what is the advantage of the capillaries being very narrow? This increases the surface area compared with their volume and speeds up the rate of diffusion. Explain the advantages of red blood cells passing through a capillary one at a time. Individual red blood cells can absorb more oxygen. Diffusion of red blood cells would be faster, because the diameter of the capillary is only slightly larger than the diameter of the blood cells. Explain how arteries, veins and capillaries work together. Arteries branch out many times to form capillaries, and these capillaries then join up to form veins. How do you calculate the rate of blood flow? Rate of blood flow equals volume of blood divided by the number of minutes. Tackling an exam question. 1,584 millilitres of blood passes through an artery in 5.5 minutes. Calculate the rate of blood flow through the artery in millilitres per minute. What does the question tell us? The volume of blood equals 1,584 millilitres, and the time equals 5.5 minutes. I need to find the rate of blood flow. The equation I need to use is rate of blood flow equals volume of blood divided by the number of minutes. So the rate of blood flow equals 1,584 divided by 5.5. Do the maths, and it equals 288 millilitres per minute. The heart. You need to learn the names of all the different parts of the heart for the exams. The left atrium, the valve, the left ventricle, the right ventricle, the valve, and the right atrium. Then we have the pulmonary vein bringing oxygenated blood from the lungs. The aorta takes the blood to the body. The oxygenated blood comes back to the heart from the body through the vena cava. The pulmonary artery takes the deoxygenated blood back to the lungs to release the carbon dioxide and collect oxygen again. Explain how the double circulatory system works. The double circulatory system means blood is pumped through the heart twice. First, the right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs to take in oxygen. Then the blood returns to the heart. Second, the left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood around the body. The blood gives up its oxygen to the body cells, and the deoxygenated blood returns to the heart and back to the lungs again. Explain how oxygenated blood flows through the heart. Oxygenated blood comes back from the lungs through the pulmonary vein into the left atrium. It is then pushed through into the left ventricle and up the aorta to go around the body. In which side of the heart would you find oxygenated blood? The left-hand side. Explain how deoxygenated blood flows through the heart. Deoxygenated blood from the body is sent back to the heart through the vena cava into the right-hand side of the heart, the right atrium, which pushes the blood into the right ventricle, then up into the pulmonary artery to the lungs. The heart is part of the circulatory system. What type of tissue makes up the wall of the heart? Cardiac muscle. What controls our resting heart rate and acts as our natural pacemaker in the heart? A small group of cells in the right atrium wall. Explain how this small group of cells works. These cells produce a small electrical impulse, which spreads to the surrounding muscle cells, causing them to contract. If someone has an irregular heartbeat, an artificial pacemaker is implanted. Explain how it works. It's a little device that's implanted under the skin and has a wire going to the heart. It produces an electric current to keep the heart beating regularly. Where in the heart would a pacemaker be located? In the right atrium. Explain how the human circulatory system is adapted to supplying oxygen to the tissues and removing waste products from tissues. This is a 6-mark question in the exam. To answer it, you need to put everything you've learnt on the circulatory system together. So keep going over this until the answers pop into your head. The double circulatory system has a higher blood pressure, creating greater blood flow to all the tissue cells in the body. The heart pumps blood to the lungs in the pulmonary artery so that oxygen can diffuse into the blood from air in the alveoli. Oxygen is carried by specialized red blood cells, which have hemoglobin to bind with the oxygen and no nucleus, so there's more space available to carry oxygen. Blood returns to the heart through the pulmonary vein, where muscles pump blood to the body through the aorta. Arteries carry the oxygenated blood to the tissues through capillaries. Capillaries have a large surface area and thin walls for fast diffusion, delivering oxygenated blood to cells for respiration and energy release. Then the waste products, for example carbon dioxide, are diffused through the capillaries into the blood plasma in the veins. Veins which have valves to stop backflow and take the deoxygenated blood back to the heart through the vena cava. The blood. What substances is blood made up of? Red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, plasma, and nutrients such as glucose and amino acids. What is the function of white blood cells? To defend against microorganisms that cause disease. Do white blood cells have a nucleus? Yes, they do. Name the red pigment found in red blood cells. It is hemoglobin. Describe the role of hemoglobin. To bind with the oxygen. Do red blood cells have a nucleus? No, they don't. Why don't red blood cells have a nucleus? So there's more space available to carry oxygen. What shape are red blood cells? They are biconcave. Why are red blood cells a biconcave shape? To give them a large surface area. What are platelets? Small pieces of cells. What is the function of platelets? They help the blood to clot. What is plasma? A straw-like liquid which carries everything in the blood. Name 4 chemical substances transported by the plasma. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, amino acids, and glucose. The circulatory system transports substances such as glucose, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and amino acids around the body. Name 3 other substances that the circulatory system transports around the body. Antibodies and antitoxins produced by the white blood cells. Hormones and proteins. And urea from the kidneys. What is urea? It is a waste product from the breakdown of amino acids metabolizing protein in the liver. Explain why your heart beats faster when you exercise. To speed up the flow of blood to your muscles, to deliver the oxygen and glucose you need, and to take away the carbon dioxide. In this video you've learnt about the circulatory system covering the heart, blood vessels and the blood. Take time to learn this topic so you can nail those exam questions in the Biology GCSE Paper 1. The key to exam success is learning, consolidation and keeping this topic fresh in your mind. How do you do that? Repetition, repetition and repetition. If you go over this enough times, you'll be able to answer any questions on this topic confidently in your exam. This is GCSE 9-1 Crammers, and if you like the content of this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you have a question or need help, give us a comment below. And don't forget, smash that subscribe button if you want more Crammers videos for your exam success. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.